My struggle against the chimera. Now word. The hero myth, as portrayed by Joseph Campbell, describes a narrative pattern in which an ordinary person is called to an extraordinary adventure, faces obstacles and challenges that transform her, and finally returns with knowledge or power that benefits her community. This structure can reflect the most real, everyday human experience. My experience as a university student has followed this symbolic path. I began my journey leaving behind the familiar, facing uncertainties and trials that have forced me to grow and redefine myself. My now world was my home, my family, the routine of many years. There I felt comfortable, recognized, secure. However, deep inside me there was a yearning that pushed me towards something greater. Call to adventure. The moment I decided to step out of my comfort zone, challenge myself and move to study at one of the most demanding universities in the country. Like the myth, this decision was neither simple nor automatic. It was preceded by fears, doubts, and a strong sense of responsibility. The first threshold was my arrival at the university. Beyond the class, it implied a profound shock with a new reality, other ways of thinking, more intense dreams, and more autonomous and also more demanding life. As Campbell describes, this crossroads marks the end of the ordinary world and the entrance of the special world, where the hero must face tests that will transform him. From that point on, not only did my schedule and responsibilities change, but also my way of seeing myself and relating to others. At this initial stage of the myth, I understood that my path was not only academic, but also spiritual, emotional, and human. I was beginning a profound process of self-discovery that would confront me with my weakness, strengths, fears, and dreams. And although I didn't know for sure what was the come, I decided to move forward because, as Campbell states, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Once the first threshold is crossed, the hero enters the world of the unknown, where he must face a series of trials that will test his character, his abilities, and his determination. According to Campbell, these tests are fundamental for the hero to become stronger and be able to continue his journey. In my case, this new world was college life, demanding, chaotic, fascinating, and at times overwhelming. Throughout the journey, I have had to face three major challenges that I symbolize as heads of a single mythological creature, the Chimera. First, the labyrinth of imbalance. This test represents the constant struggle to maintain a balance between all the areas that are part of my identity: studies, my physical and mental health, my family life, social service, exercise, and my personal projects. Campbell mentions that one of the first obstacles the hero faces on his path is inner turmoil, when the old structures no longer work and the new ones have not yet been consolidated. This is my labyrinth. Every day requires precise planning, where the latest mismatch can lead me to feel that everything is falling apart. There are days when I wake up very early and come back exhausted, only to realize that I didn't spend quality time with myself or the people I love. It's a feeling of fragmentation, of if I have to split myself into many versions of myself to meet all the demands. But I've also learned that part of the hero's journey is to recognize your limits and adapt. I have begun to practice self-compassion, to accept that I can do everything at the same time, and that taking care of myself is also a way to move forward. In this process, the word balance has become a mantra, and each attempt at improvement is one more step towards the integration of all my facets. Second, the fog of insecurity. In many myths, the hero must symbolically descend into the underworld, face his deepest fears, and discover his true essence. This dark night of the soul, as Campbell calls it, also exists in real life. For me, it manifests itself as imposter syndrome. Despite my accomplishments, it is not uncommon for me to question whether I really deserve to be here, whether I have enough knowledge, or whether at some point someone will discover that I don't know as much as I seem to. This insecurity can be paralyzing, especially in a career as demanding as mine, where comparison to others is almost inevitable. However, just like in myths, every challenge overcome proves to me that I am more capable than I think I am. Every project delivered, every god that finally compiles, every recognition received are proof that I deserve this path. I am learning to replace doubt with gratitude and fear with action. True knowledge is not only in what I know, but in my ability to keep learning. Third, the shadow of time. The third head of the Chimera is time, that invisible enemy that always seems to go faster than me. In the monotony, the hero often faces pressure from the environment or from fate itself. In my case, this pressure translates into the urgency of accomplishing everything: homework, exams, projects, meetings, class, food, rest. I live with the feeling that if I stop, everything will collapse. That pressure turns into anxiety, into insomnia, into body tension. Sometimes I feel like a clock that runs without pause, as if college is an endurance race where there is no room to stop. But I'm learning that it's not about getting there first. It's about getting there right, prioritizing, saying no, leaving room to breathe. It is also part of the journey. Mentor, support, growth. Every hero, as Campbell mentions, needs allies and mentors. No one succeeds in solitude. On my path, I have found key people who have sustained me when I felt I could no longer go on. My parents, who with effort and love have supported me even at a distance. Friends, with whom I share my anguish and joys. Teachers, who see in me a potential that I sometimes forget. These people have taught me that to be strong is never to be fall, but to know who to turn to when you do. They have reminded me that even in the darkness, there are guiding lights. They are my network, my support, my hope. The temptation. In every myth, the hero faces distraction or temptations that invite him to abandon his mission. In my story, these temptations come in the form of comparisons on social networks, thoughts of I can't take it anymore, the idea that perhaps another career or path will be easier. They also show up in small decisions, leaving a task for later, prioritizing immediate entertainment, doubting myself. But every time I am tempted to give up, I remember why I start. I remember the sacrifice made. In the last stage of the hero's journey, Campbell describes the moment when the protagonist must come face to face with the greatest obstacle of his story, the mythological monster that symbolizes his fears, doubts, and weaknesses. For me, that monster is a chimera, a chaotic and multifaceted creature that concentrated my three great challenges: the imbalance between the personal and the academic, the imposter syndrome, and the constant pressure of the time. Superpowers. But in this battle, I am not an hermit. I have worked my own tools, my superpowers, along the way. My sword is resilience, the ability to pick myself up even on the lowest days. My shield is planning, a strategic means that allow me to anticipate, organize, and move forward intelligently. My hidden gift is a passion for learning, which allows me to turn fear into motivation. These virtues allow me to look the chimera in the eye without backing down. I no longer want to run away from it, but to understand it, master it, and use its strengths to continue to grow. Because I know that the true hero is not the one who destroys his fears, but the one who transforms them into fuel to move forward. The final gift. Each semester represents a new battle, and with each victory, I receive an inner gift, a lesson, a transformation, an evolving part of me. Successfully completing the semester is not just about passing subjects, but about developing a more conscious, stronger, and mature version of myself. After each cycle, I notice profound change. I am more organized and learn to prioritize it. I value rest and balance more. I recognize myself as a person capable of achieving my goals through effort, not luck. Each semester is an atonement, an opportunity for redemption in the face of my own fears, and a confirmation that I am where I am supposed to be. It reaffirms to me that I am not an imposter, but a student with merit, with purpose, and with a firm commitment to my road. And finally, Master of the Words. I am no longer the teenager who hesitantly entered this adventure. I have become a young professional in training with a clear horizon and an authentic mission to use my knowledge to improve my environment and contribute something meaningful to the world. The Master of the Words, as Campbell describes, is the one who managed to integrate what he or she has learned on the journey with his or her daily life. Today, I apply my learning not only in assignments or exams, but also in the way I speak, act, and think. I strive to be consistent, ethical, and creative, both in the classroom and in my community. To my family, I try to give back hope and pride. To society, my commitment and responsibility. To my path as a heroine, I give the certainty that I will continue to fight. Not to be perfect, but to be authentic and transformative. Thus, I close this cycle of the myth, having faced my chimera, recognizing my powers and understanding that the hero's journey does not end, but restarts with each new challenge I choose to face.